How to consistently grow as a car salesman. Check it out. What's going on, guys? It's Corey. So listen, I want to go over how to consistently grow as a car salesman, all right? A lot of people have been in the industry for a very long time, but have stopped growing a long time ago. So if you're a beginner watching this video, I want to teach you how to avoid that and how to consistently grow within the business and as a car salesman, all right? Part of the reason why I was able to make over 30K in one single month as a car salesman is because I understood the principles and the habits that it took for me to consistently grow, and also the tools that I needed, all right, to consistently grow as a car salesman. So I want to go over the do's and don'ts, all right? What to do to consistently grow and what to not do if you want to grow. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the don'ts, all right? And the first don't is don't be inconsistent. Listen, this is a game of consistency, all right? And the main thing that kills most guys from growing is that they're inconsistent. They'll do a little bit here and they'll stop. Then they'll do a little bit again. Listen, you'll never grow if you're inconsistent with something, all right? If you want to continuously keep growing, you must be consistent at whatever it is that you do. If you have a plant and you want to grow the plant, then you must consistently water the plant in order for that seed to sprout and grow. All right, it's the same thing as a car salesman. All right, you got to understand, especially if you're starting from zero, you have nothing. All right, and if you want to grow, then you have to consistently make inputs. Those inputs create outputs, and those outputs are basically sales. All right, if you want to consistently grow as a car salesman, you must be consistent. That's the whole word, consistent. Right? You want to consistently grow, then you cannot be inconsistent if you want to grow as a car salesman. All right, we're gonna get into the second don't. All right, the second don't is you don't want to rely on the dealership, and I'll explain what I mean by that. Don't rely on the dealership, all right? This is by far the biggest mistake most car salesmen make if they want to grow, all right? And what do I mean by relying on the dealership? Like, don't be relying on ups, phone pops, or internet leads, or BDC to give you leads, whatever the case may be. You certainly don't want to rely on us. If this is your entire lead flow, which is just strictly coming from the dealership, so all your sources lead back to the dealership, then you'll never grow. And I'll explain why. The reason why you'll eventually plateau, unless you're a house mouse and they just give you everything, but 99% of you guys watching this are not. You won't grow because the dealership is dictating what you're getting, okay? Especially if let's say you're waiting for ups and there's like 10 other salesmen that you have to share those ups with. There's only a certain amount of ups that come in per day, and you certainly can't take them all right? You have to share them with other people. Same thing with phone pops, same thing with internet leads. They're not your own sources, okay? So you cannot grow something that you have no control over, something you cannot influence. You can't go and tell your dealership manager or whatever, hey, go spend more money on advertising so we can get more customers in so I can make more sales, right? You can't do that because it's not yours and you're relying on them. The more you rely on them, the harder it is for you to grow, because you're eventually going to get to a point where you get stuck and you can't get past a certain plateau. All right, so hey guys, so a lot of you may be interested in figuring out how you can sell more cars or just make more money in general. Listen, DM me the word sold on Instagram at Real Corey Brunette. Once again, DM me the word sold on Instagram at Real Corey Brunette. I'm looking forward to helping you out, see if I can share some nuggets with you. More importantly, looking forward to meeting you. Let's get back to the video. If you want to grow, then you certainly cannot rely on the dealership, and this is by far the biggest reason why most car salesmen get stuck where they're currently at and can't seem to get past, a certain barrier, is because they're relying on the dealership, and that's the path most of you guys take. And it's because you come in as a car salesman looking at this as a job instead of looking at it like your own business. I always say, as a car salesman, you have your own business within a business, okay? So if you look at it as a business, then you wouldn't be waiting for opportunities, which is relying on a dealership. You'd be trying to create your own. And a lot of you look at it as just a job, and you think the dealership is supposed to supply you with everything. They already supply you with enough. They supply you with the inventory. The least you can do is at least try to generate your own leads and sales, especially if you want to grow. And the third don't, and this is going to resonate with a lot of you, all right, is you don't want to get stuck in old ways. And I'll explain what I mean. All right, listen, this is probably the second killer for most of you guys growing, is you get stuck in old ways. And I'll give you a very easy example. A lot of you guys get into the industry and you probably might not know much about the industry, right? So you start asking guys like your managers, hey, listen, how can I make more sales? How can I generate more customers? How can I grow, right? Keyword in this whole thing. How can I grow and how can I basically do more, right? And a lot of your managers are older, so they've probably been in the game 10 plus, 15, 20 years, right? So what they're gonna do, they're gonna recommend to you that you do the things that they did when they were on the floor and that worked for them. Not saying that those strategies don't work, all right? But things change, the way we do business changes. You must learn to become adaptable, all right? If you're stuck in old ways, right? Like for example, they like, hey, listen, just pick up the phone and start dialing. Obviously, picking up the phone works, right? But nowadays we have things like social media where you can actually advertise yourself to hundreds of people at one time instead of picking up the phone and talking to someone one by one. Not only is that time consuming, but it's not as efficient as working on social media. So if you're gonna be one of those guys that just get stuck in old ways, it's gonna be damn near impossible for you to grow. So don't get stuck in old ways, all right? If you wanna grow, this is a do not do this, all right? These 3 reasons here are why most car salesmen get stuck and why they cannot consistently grow as a car salesman, all right? So now we've covered the don'ts, we're gonna get into the do's. So what do you actually wanna do if you wanna consistently grow as a car salesman? Let's get into it. First thing you wanna do is you wanna keep momentum going. You wanna always keep momentum going, all right? This is a game of momentum. The minute you start building momentum, the great thing with car sales is that it seems to just always keep going. As long as you keep your foot on the gas, as long as you never stop, all right? And yes, you can take breaks here and there, but it's the buildup that I'm talking about. The buildup is what matters. The minute you start gaining momentum, you must keep it going, all right? This is a game, again, of momentum. So the minute you start gaining traction, you're being consistent. So doing the opposite of being inconsistent, let's say you're posting on social media, you're starting to get traction, you're starting to get followers, you're starting to get likes, more people are knowing what you're doing, you're running ads, you're getting people reaching out to you, things of that nature. You want to keep that going. When you get to that barrier, you got to keep your foot on the gas. This is a game of momentum because once you start rising, this thing seems to keep going and keep going and keep going. This is the beauty with sales. Once you start gaining that traction, it just never stops. And you must keep momentum going, all right, if you want to consistently grow as a car salesman. That's key to this whole thing, which is speed. You must be quick, you must keep going, you must keep momentum flowing, all right? And we're rhyming accidentally, but that's what you gotta do. All right, so the second do, which is by far the reason why, all right, the most important reason why I was able to make over 30K in one single month is you must create your own lead flow. All right, this is one of the things that we teach a lot on this channel. This is also the thing that I specialize in the most in helping car salesmen, all right? That's what we do in the private program. We help you guys create your own lead flow, all right? And we got tons of videos on this channel for free that you can check out that also shows you how to do it, whether it's about creating content, whether it's running ads, whatever it is, appointment setting. We teach you, all right? And how to create your own lead flow. That's the key to consistently growing as a car salesman, because quite opposite to what I said about relying on a dealership, when you create your own lead flow, you have your own people that you're bringing into the dealership. That's something that you have full control over. So if you have full control over something, then you can influence it. All right. And when you can influence it, then you can predict it, which makes it reliable, which makes it scalable, and which makes it more consistent. Okay. That's the key to this whole game. This key to this game is not relying on a dealership, but to create your own lead flow. You got to have your own people coming in. I always say whatever the dealership brings in should just be extra food on your plate. But it should never make up your entire plate, and too many of you guys get stuck eating 100% of your food from the dealership. All right, that should be a very small percentage. Like one of the things I did, I never took ups. I never had to, because I was always creating my own lead flow. All right, and if I just so happen to not be busy and I seen someone walking by, cool, I'll go shake their hand, I'll go say what's up, I'll go try to make a sale. And if I did, great, but I never had to rely on it because I knew I already had 3-4 people that was lined up to come in that same day. And if I didn't make the sale from the up, I knew I had those people that I could rely on. I wasn't worried about what the dealership was bringing in because I didn't need to. That's the game. You have to create your own lead flow. And if you want to consistently grow, you must have influence over what you're doing and you must have control over it. And that's how you do it. You have to create your own lead flow. The best way in today's day and age is by far social media. Hands down, number one strategy is on social media when it comes to marketing, creating offers, and getting people reaching out and brand awareness, getting people to know who you are, what you do, and where to find you. If you know what you're doing on social media, which like I said, we got tons of videos on this channel teaching you exactly how to do it. Plus we have the private program, right, that you can ask about. That's by far the best way for you to create your own lead flow and generate your own deals, customers, and opportunities to your store. All right, and the last and final do. This is also a big one. You're always learning and adapting. Listen, you always need to be learning and adapting, all right? The minute you stop learning, you stop growing, all right? And this is also a game of adapting. So very opposite to being stuck in old ways. You always need to be learning and adapting, all right? You get so many of these managers, like I said, some of you don't even know that you're getting steered in the wrong direction, all right? You get some of these managers that tell you, oh, don't do this and don't do that, when it's clearly the way that things are, running today, right? A lot of your managers, you might tell them, hey, listen, I'm thinking about you going on social media. They might say, forget that, man. Go ahead and just hit the phones. Right? They'll tell you something like that, and it's like, listen, do they even know what times we're living in? Do they even know? Because clearly, that's what's key right now. That's what's winning. That's what gets the best results, the quickest. And also, it's the most efficient. All right? You don't need to be sitting there hours on hours on one device. You literally can make one video, post that video, have people share it, get views, get people reaching out, boost it, do whatever it is that you need to do, create an ad around it, all right, and get people reaching out to you instead of you having to constantly hunt them down. All right, so you always need to be learning and adapting. The people who are going to be successful in business the longest are going to be the most adaptable. All right, so things are always changing. You need to always be adapting, finding new strategies, new ways to generate business, new systems, whatever it is, right? You always need to be learning and adapting. So don't get stuck in old ways. All right, don't get left behind. Always be ahead of the curve by learning and consistently adapting. So these are the do's and don'ts. All right, if you want to consistently grow as a car salesman, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next. All right, and I'll see you all in the next video. I'm glad you made it to the end of the video. I got two options for you. You can either watch the next video, or you can DM me the word sold on Instagram at @RealCoreyBurnett. If you're ready to take your car sales career to the next level, I'm looking forward to helping you out. More importantly, looking forward to meeting you. I'll catch you all in the next one. Have a blessed day.